Hey everybody, good evening. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. This is, I think, episode 3 of our, I call them our unsolved live streams. So try to take a look at some unsolved homicides. Because Mondays we do missing persons. So I'm going to try to dedicate once or twice a month doing these unsolved live streams. To go along with my videos that I post during the week to bring us some more attention to these unsolved cold cases. Excuse me. Once again, the farmers are starting to plow the crop, or not, cut the crops. So my allergies are out of control. But anyway, so tonight we're going to be talking about, I think I have 6 missing and murdered Indigenous persons cases, and I got all the basic information, or I found them on the Bureau of Indian Affairs website. I just went through there and just scrolled through, and the first 6 that I came to, that's what I picked to feature tonight. But we will be doing more in the future, because unfortunately MMIP cases don't get the attention, the awareness, as much attention or awareness as other cases. So we always try to do our part to bring some attention to them. So in that, please visit, if you haven't already, visit, subscribe, watch their videos or lives. Stolen Spirits, MMIWG. That's the link to their YouTube channel. Obviously they feature MMIP cases. Fantastic job they do, and Miss Nicole or Miss Brady usually sometimes pops in the chat to say hi, so I always like to give them a shout out whenever I can. And also, if you're on Facebook, they have a Facebook group, so you can join the Facebook group. Right, so I think that's all that. And I did put, I'll flash it up again really quick, but and I'll do it again before we get started. Just a trigger warning. It's on the the crawler on the bottom, but just trigger warning tonight because some of the details, unfortunately, as with homicide cases, are, maybe traumatizing, obviously, to people. So just be aware of that. And if you don't feel like you can stick around and watch it, I understand. Perfectly fine. Absolutely. Let's see if I can get things to work. There we go. Who is here tonight? And we will get started. Lots of people here. Arctic checked in. Hello, buddy. Good to see you. Miss Barb checked in. Always good to see Miss Barbara. And if you didn't see it, I shared it on my community tab. It's hot in here tonight. Miss Barb was on the Drunk Turkey show last night, talking about Timmy's case, obviously. She did a fantastic job as always, and Daniel, the host of the Drunk Turkey show, can't talk, just did an excellent job in giving the information. And because no matter how many times I've talked to Miss Barb about Timmy's case and watched and listened to other podcasts and other people who have talked about Timmy's case, every time I watch a new one or a different one, I always find some little something that I didn't know. And there was a couple of things that I heard that they talked about last night that I did not know. And I was just like, just makes it even more. But anyway, Miss Barb, like I said, she did an excellent job as always. So please do check it out. Miss Lisa Jo checked in. Hello, my friend. I hope you're doing well. Miss Paula checked in. Always good to see Miss Paula. Junior, our good friend, checked in from Michigan. He's in Michigan tonight. He told me the other day it was hot here today. I don't know if Miss Doodle's here. I haven't got down to all the comments yet, but when I was working today, I posted whatever, it was like 97 degrees and like 104 humidity. And I was just like, I'm broiling. I'm steaming. My car was like a big crock pot, I guess. It was hot. But anyway, Junior had also commented and said that it was in Kentucky the other day. It was like 104. It's too hot. I'm over it. I'm over all the heat. I'm tired of it. We need some rain, which we did get a little bit of rain here in Arkansas. I think it was yesterday. But, the rain was good, but it just made it even steamier than it already was. There's Miss Doodle. Speaking of Miss Doodle, our beautiful Miss Doodle. Hello. I made it out of the crock pot. Yeah, I told her if she wanted to I'll roll down the windows of the car and she could drive by and throw some veggies in and for supper. To have for supper in the crock pot. Oh, anyway. Let's see who else is here. Thank you very much. Arctic is getting in links. There's Miss Doodle. And there's Miss Paula. There's our dandy Linus. Hello, dear. How are you? Hope you're doing well. She says, hello, all you fine dudes and dudettes. Sunday is here. Sunday the Doodles is here. Welcome, welcome. Good to see you here, as always. And thank you, Miss Doodle. There is Arctic's link to his channel. Mustang is here. Our friend Mustang. Hello. I hope you're doing well. Good to see all you guys here tonight. Absolutely. Doodle says the Snapchat blew me away. I know. I did not know about the Snapchat in Timmy's case. Did not. I don't think I knew about it. Or there was something. I don't think it may. Yeah, because I knew about the check-in that had been done on Timmy's phone that mysteriously disappeared, but I don't think I'd ever heard about the Snapchat at all. So I was like, just another piece to the puzzle. It's just, and I think, everybody, Mr. Steve and everybody who's been working on the case has pretty much, put the puzzle together and figured out what happened. It's just getting the authorities, the right people to do something about it. There's Miss Marion. Hello. Good to see you. As always, she says, hello, everyone. Thank you for all the hard work you do for all the families. Absolutely. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, goodness. I'll just leave that right there for a minute. Oh, yeah, that happens. Things like that happen, unfortunately. Oh, goodness. Thank you very much. Dandy put my link to my, it's not the profile. I don't think. It may be. It may be. I don't know, because I have a page and then my profile. But I try to post on my page some, the page. But most everything I post on my profile. So. Really, I missed that. Oh, yeah, Dave was doing football stuff, right? Yeah, I saw that he was live doing football stuff. I might have to be replay crew on that. I'm a football fan. Oh, Miss Doodle says I drove too fast. She tried to throw taters at me. Oh, see, now I want some good like crock pot chicken with veggies or crock pot roast with veggies. Oh, or a hobo dinner. That's what we call them. There may be another name. We learned how to make them in Girl Scouts over the campfire, but you can do them in the oven. You just basically take like a hamburger patty, and then you put whatever veggies or whatever you want in with it. Put it in the little tinfoil tent, slide it in the oven, and bake it. Easy, fast, delicious. Summer or winter. Anyway, Arctic says he washed his car today, so he's sure rain is on the way. Probably. Yeah, I think there's a chance tomorrow. Make sure so far everything is. I'm not going to say it because I'll jinx it, but everything is okay right now. Miss Barb is back again. She says, hello, everyone. Thank you for all your support last night. Absolutely. Absolutely, ma'am. Excuse me. All right, we are caught up, so we will get started. Mark right there. Get my slideshow up. And I don't know what I did with my. I messed up the. I messed up. You can see the front page of the slideshow, but it's supposed to say unsolved. Anyway, like I said, we're going to be. Yes, Miss Barb did an excellent job, as always. She always does excellent. But like I said, we're going to be talking about MMIP cases tonight. Basically, I found the basic the cases on the Bureau of Indian Affairs website, and I think I did put a link to everything in the description box. And then I looked and tried to find supplemental articles. And surprisingly, I think I was able to find at least something about all of these cases on the Google machine. Fired up the Google machine, which is unfortunately rare, especially when it comes to MMIP cases. You usually don't find a whole lot. But I think I was actually able to find a pretty good amount of stuff. So anyway, first we're going to be talking about Mona Lisa Two Eagle. So Mona Lisa in the winter, and this case is from 1979. This may be the oldest one that we have tonight. Of course, just like on Missing Person Mondays, I say that, and then there's always one that's older. And this is from North Dakota. So in the winter of 1979, Mona Lisa left a bar with two unknown adult males. They left in a red and white pickup truck. She never returned, and she was reported missing shortly after. So police and family did organize horseback searches for Mona Lisa. They lasted 2 weeks. They actually searched for 2 weeks. But unfortunately, during the search, she was not found. And so, unfortunately, her body was discovered by her father and her brother. I can't imagine. Frozen in a pasture. So it appeared that she had been beaten and possibly SA'd. No charges have ever been pressed. No suspects identified in her case. And unfortunately, since 1979, it's still unsolved. So Mona Lisa was one of 14 children. She is described by her family as being athletic and caring. Her case has received some long overdue attention, and this information is from justicefornativepeople.com. Once again, all the links are in the description. So her case did receive some attention because it was included in the arguments for Savannah's Law, which is a law regarding MMIP, MMIW. In the United States, it is named after Savannah LaFontaine Graywind, who was a victim of a homicide in 2017. And Mona Lisa is a member of the Rosebud Sioux Tribe of South Dakota. So if you have any information regarding Mona Lisa's case, you can contact the Rosebud Police Department at 605-747-2281. You can also, I think it's on every slide, you can contact the Bureau of Indian Affairs also. Let me see, I think I did have another article. This is from grunge.com. It is from November of 2022. The unsolved 1979 homicide of Mona Lisa Two Eagle. So in February of 1979, Mona Lisa Two Eagle of the Rosebud Sioux was last seen by her 12-year-old brother. So I said earlier that she was found by her father and her brother. But apparently her brother was only 12 years old. I mean, it would be hard for anybody, any family member, to find their loved one like they found her, regardless of what age. But can you just imagine 12 years old and finding your sister like that? I can't. So anyway, so she was last seen by her 12-year-old brother, Phil Two Eagle, leaving their home in South Dakota. Mona Lisa got into a red and white pickup truck with two men, and the three drove off into the night. Not long after, the young mother of two was reported missing, and in the days that followed, local law enforcement searched the area on horseback, while Mona Lisa's family took the initiative to launch their own search. So 2 weeks into the investigation, once again, her father and brother located her frozen remains in a field not far from their home. She was beaten, possibly essayed. Once again, no arrest as of 2025. No arrests have been made. No suspects have been identified. This case is among the many unsolved mysteries of missing and murdered Indigenous women. The details of cases like this are often scant. The investigations frustratingly lax. And those who take interest are left wondering about the perpetrators who have gone free and the families who are denied a closure. Sorry, I'm swatting ads here. So Mona Lisa's case involves more questions than answers, as in a lot of these cases, obviously that's the case. And it fell under the radar altogether until the 2017 homicide of another Native American woman brought it to the public's attention. So Savannah LaFontaine Graywind, August 19th of 2017, after she left her apartment to assist a neighbor who asked her to model a dress for them. The 22-year-old mother-to-be was in a text conversation with her boyfriend at the time, but when communication ceased for an hour, he became concerned. She was soon reported missing, and Savannah's community and family launched a search for her. And then on August 27th, kayakers discovered her body during a recreational outing in the Red River of North Dakota. So the case obviously shocked the public when it was found that her neighbors actually conspired to take the life of Savannah and her unborn child. No, they took the life of Savannah. They stole the unborn infant who was found alive in their apartment after Savannah disappeared. So a DNA test did confirm that the child was Savannah's. And in the aftermath of the case, Savannah's Act was introduced to Congress to improve data collection, coordination between federal, local law enforcement and tribal leaders, and empower tribal government. So that's we talk about this. It seems like every time we talk about MMIP cases, it's just the disconnect or the lack of communication between, local law enforcement, federal tribal police. Things just get, signals get mixed and just things are overlooked. And that's one of the things that just makes it, these kind of cases just difficult. So on October 10th of 2020, the bill did become law. And with it, the stories of lesser known Indigenous victims came to light. So one of the biggest questions that remain unanswered in Mona Lisa's case is who were the two men that she left with that night, obviously. According to an interview with her brother Phil, gave to Teen Vogue, witnesses reported seeing their vehicle parked on the side of the road near the field where Mona Lisa's body was left in a South Dakota blizzard. Others claim to have seen two men carrying her into a house. But aside from this, nothing has helped identify who these two people were. And like with so many cases of MMIW, law enforcement's investigation was limited, leaving the families of the deceased to pursue answers. So another thing that constantly comes up in these cases, the family has to do the work. So the FBI's National Crime Information, or NCIC database, shows that even though Native Americans and Alaska Natives make up only 0.8% of the American population, they make up 1.8% of missing persons cases. But hope is on the horizon with the Savannah Act, which led to meetings and outreach efforts in 2021 to improve data gathering and law enforcement training. As government efforts commenced that year, 5,203 Indigenous women and girls were reported missing, according to the FBI. So it's 10 time missing, or MMIP, MMIW, or go missing, or the victims of homicide. I believe it's 10 times more than others. It just blows my mind every time I think about that. So therefore, Mona Lisa represents one of many women who fell victim to what has become an epidemic in Indigenous communities. So it's like the same old, it's like the hamster circle. It just keep going round and round with these cases, and we don't get anywhere. I think that was all that I had on Mona Lisa. Let me check and make sure, because on some of these I had 2 or 3 things. Oh yeah, okay, so that is the next one. So let me check your comments, see if anybody's popped in, if I can get everything to move here. Got to get down to where I was at. Goodness gracious, lots of comments popped up. There we go. All right. Yeah, Miss Barb always says she's nervous, but she always does great. Absolutely. Absolutely. I've got it. I shared it on my community tab. Somebody might have put the link in for you. It was on the Drunk Turkey Show. For some reason, I have trouble saying Drunk Turkey Show. Say that fast 3 times. Yep, the Drunk Turkey Show. I'm sure somebody popped. Yep, there's the link. Thank you, Arctic. There's the link. Absolutely. Hey, Romero, how are you doing? Good to see you. There's Dave. He's probably listening and driving. Hey, Dave. Always good to see Dave. Please do check out Dave. Absolutely. Dave, if you're listening or still here, I'm going to get over and watch your live football live stream that you did. And your tropics. He's also, so Dave covers true crime. He covers weather and sports, football. So Dave is a jack of all trades, because he also did a live stream the other night. Was it last night? Night before, talking about this new, it's a tropical storm right now. I don't even know the name of it. Is it Aaron? Aaron, maybe? They're expecting it to become a hurricane. So Dave's got everything covered. So please do check out Dave. Dave is an awesome guy. He does an awesome job covering everything, anything and everything. Yep, he's probably driving. He says, sorry, can't say hi to everyone. We understand, Dave. You be safe out there doing your owl stuff. Thank you. Absolutely. There is Dave's link to his channel. Yep, he's listening and driving. Hey, Tech Death Hippie, welcome. Good to see you here. Please check out Tech Death Hippie. I love to go over there and listen to him, his music. Excellent stuff. So it's good to see him in here. Al and Doodle had a date last night. What did I miss? What did I miss? Goodness gracious, things are afoot at the Circle K. Oh my goodness. All right, let me get caught up and we will move on. Oh, were you on with Dave when he's talking about the hurricane? I'm really gonna have to check that out. Miss Barb says, I bet it was a hurricane. Yes, Miss Barb is number one, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. Miss Barb says you have to get a laugh when you can. This is also sad, absolutely. Yep. Arctic says, so no persons of interest after all these years. Yeah, so somebody do the math for me. It's 1979. It's now 2025. That's a lot of years, too many years. And they still, I mean, I don't know how big the place was, the reservation was, what, you know, but, and especially if it was somebody, and I'm going to just go under the assumption, because I don't know if it said male or female, but I'm just going to go under the assumption that the two people, it might have said male. Hold on, let me go. The two people she was seen with were unidentified males, I believe. Yep, two unknown adult males. So you would think that if they were local, which we don't know if they were local or not, granted, you know, they might have had a little idea, you know. Anyway, but yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Yes, it is infuriating. That's why we try to do our best here to bring as much awareness to MMIP cases, to African American cases, Hispanic cases. Don't matter, you know, I cover all races, colors, creeds, ethnicities. It does not matter to me. Everybody deserves their case deserves to be made, you know, have awareness for it. So, but unfortunately, it's not always the case in certain cases. Nope, no persons of interest. Yep, Miss Paula loves that name. Absolutely. Oh, Echoes is in the building. Hey, Bubba, how are you doing? Good to see you. Are you working? He's probably working. What's tonight? Thursday? He's probably at work, bored at work. Oh, goodness. Always good to see my Bubba in here. Yep, it happens far too often. How did you scare yourself? What? Did you throw a brush at yourself? Ah. Okay, so Doodle said Al did a great job this morning discussing Hurricane Aaron. Yes, Dave is a very smart man. Absolutely. Cannot argue with that. Oh, so Dandy's son scared her, scaring me every chance he gets, the highlight of my son's day. Kids, I'm telling you. Well, I don't know how old he is, but it don't matter how old, your kids are always going to be your kids. But me too. Argus says he's still waiting on them to name a hurricane Karen. When I did worked with the public in the food service and retail, I came into contact with a lot of Hurricane Karens. Karens are not fun to deal with. or whatever the male equivalent of Karens are not fun to deal with either. Yep. Toodle said that would be a mean one. Thank you very much. Dandy got Tech Death Hippies YouTube channel link. Please do check him out. Got some good old rock and roll music. Do check him out. Absolutely. And our friend JP, I haven't seen him tonight, but he may be otherwise occupied. See, it did mention that. Junior said, I thought they saw two men carrying her into a house. Let me go back to, yes. They had a witness or two different sets of witnesses. Hold on, let me make sure. Let me go back to the article. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I forgot to switch tabs. To the article. Lord, it's hot in here. I think one witness claimed that they saw this red and white pickup truck pulled to the side of the road close to the field that she was found in, and then another witness supposedly said something about they saw two men carrying her body or a body into a house. So let me find it just to make sure I'm not giving out wrong information. Just give me 1 second. Oh, Lord. Well, I can't find it now. I know that's what it said, though. Yeah. And I don't know if there's, I'm assuming two different witnesses that gave those two accounts. Well, now I can't find it in the article. Anyway, but yes, it did mention. It did mention that, Junior. You're correct. Oh, I do it because, like I said, I've always been interested in just true crime in general, and then started out, with the serial offenders, obviously, and reading Helter Skelter. I read it, probably too young to be reading a book like that, and then as I got older, matured, and you start looking behind the actual crimes and the criminals, and you look at the victims and the victims' families and the missing and what they go through, and that just don't get me wrong, I still like to read up on the serial offenders and the things like that, but missing persons and in cases like these, unsolved cold cases, that's what I do this channel for. Try to do my our little part here to do what we can to bring awareness to these cases. Oh Lord, it's so hot in here, my glasses are fogging up. Thank you, Dave. You are amazing. Dave is amazing. Thank you very much. Arctic said he subbed up to Tech Death. Yeah, like I said, if you're a music fan or rock and roll fan, he plays a mean guitar. Absolutely. Oh, everything jumped. Hold on. Arctic had to call me. There it is. Arctic says, I'm guessing no composite sketches of the men were ever made. Apparently not, because I went 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pages deep on the Google machine looking for anything that I could find on these cases, and nothing. No sketches, no descriptions, just two unknown males. Yeah, Junior says they must not have followed up on any tips that came in. I would agree with you. Yep, absolutely. Miss Doodle and Arctic are awesome. All right, so we are caught up. So, Lord, I'm sweating. Our air conditioner freezes up sometimes. It must be froze up because I don't feel any air blow. Anyway, enough of my problems. All right, let me get, so next we're going to talk about Rhys, and I hope I'm pronouncing these names correctly. I apologize if I pronounce something wrong. I apologize. I mean, absolutely no disrespect by it. I just, sometimes I have problems pronouncing stuff. But this is Rhys Pocan. Let me get her information. Oh, wipe my face while I got my camera off. Lord have mercy. Okay. Let me drink of water. Anyway, so This is Rhys Pocan. This is from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 19, I think it says 1989. So I have an article here. 35-year-old cold case could still have ties to Jackson County. Let me make sure I've got, yeah, I got 2 articles. This is the first one. And it is from, it's just a little blurb kind of thing. And it doesn't, oh, it's from February 2025. So they found her August 10th, 1989, Milwaukee, Waukesha County, Sheboygan County, Wisconsin. On Thursday, August 10th of 1989, Rhys Pocan, a 35-year-old Native American woman, was abducted while walking along National Avenue in the city of Milwaukee around midnight. Rhys, so trigger warning for this. So she was obviously the victim of homicide. She had been dismembered. Her head and hands were later located by hunters in Vernon Marsh, which is a public hunting ground located in Waukesha County. Her torso was found in Nichols Creek, which is a public hunting ground located in Sheboygan County. I don't know how far or how many miles it is between those 2 places. So Rhys lived in the Black River Falls area in the early 1980s, and it is believed that people with information about this case and or involved parties may still have ties to Jackson County in Wisconsin. So if you have any information regarding Rhys's case, you can contact the Sheboygan County Sheriff's Office at 920-459-3112. It says, obviously, in all situations of this nature, do not, if you happen to have information, might happen to know anybody who might have been involved in this, it says, do not confront them, do not confront a suspect, call the police immediately. 911 is all, Miss Doodle always says, 911 is always your best bet. Report any information you have. You can also leave a web tip at www.cufthem.com. Says you will remain anonymous. And I don't know if it's still active, but it says you will remain anonymous and could be eligible for a reward of up to $1,000. So it's been 35 years since Rhys Pocan, a 35-year-old Native American woman, was abducted while walking along National Avenue in the city of Milwaukee around midnight. She was last seen on August 10th, 1989. She lived in the Black River Falls area in the early 1980s. Once again, we went through what happened to her, so I won't repeat that. It is believed, once again, the information about this, so that's the same information I just read. That was from a statement. Okay. So once again, if you have information, you can call the Sheboygan County Sheriff's Department at 920-459-3135 or the Sheboygan Countywide Crime Stoppers. I believe I have an article that has an interview with her daughter. This is from TMJ4.com. Never giving up. A daughter, 1989, Sheboygan cold case homicide victim still searching for answers. And this is from March this year, 2025. So it says all that Charlie Russ has is a handful of pictures and postcard love note that reads, quote, "I was thinking of you and thought I'd send a card to say how much I love and miss you," end quote. Oh, it just gets me. Charlie said, "I don't pictures of me when I was a baby. It's kind of funny that some of these other pictures," she says, staring down at a photo collage on the table. She says, "It's nice to see my mom and her smile." Their cherished memories when her Native American mother, Rhys Pocan, was still alive. Sadly, Rhys was a victim of a homicide in August 1999, and her finger was never caught. So investigators, sorry, ads keep opening up. So investigators were combing the area for clues when her remains were found on state land. So they was found on state land, not on reservation land, in the town of Linden. So Charlie was only 8 years old at the time, and she still remembers those 5. I'm back, maybe. Jeez. See, and I didn't even, hold on, make sure my audio is still right. I didn't even say anything. I was thinking it. Maybe I shouldn't have even thought it. Now, what is up here? Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Okay. Jeez. Once again, just like Monday night, let me get my slideshow back up. All right. Let me try it again. All right. See if I can make it through this article. But as I was saying before, I was unceremoniously thrown out by StreamYard. She, in this article that I'm reading from, which was again is linked in the description, that has pictures of Rhys and Charlie, her daughter, and they look so much alike. Oh my goodness. So anyway, so Charlie says she was about to leave, and I was like, I want to go with you. And she said her mom said, no, you got to stay here. And then I watched her ride away on her bike. So the case went cold for over 30 years, taking a serious toll on the family. Not knowing who it is, Charlie, I'm assuming this is Charlie, says not knowing who it is and that they are still out there. So Charlie said she believes not enough was done at the beginning of the investigation because her mother was of Indigenous descent, hailing from the, I'm going to try not to butcher this, Menominee and Ojibwe tribes. She says there's a big thing that's going on throughout the United States, and it is not fair. But the Sheboygan County Sheriff's Department gave the case another hard look in 2022. The detective on the case said that they are making progress, but cannot release any more information just yet. Charlie says it was a long time of no answers. So the Crime Junkie podcast released an episode of this case. So when was this article from? This year? And it says that Crime Junkie will also release a documentary about Rhys's case on its YouTube channel on March the 7th. So I'll have to check on that and see if that's there. So Charlie did launch a GoFundMe in hopes of financing a cash reward for tips. And also to assist with police investigation costs. And why should families have to raise money for police investigation cost? Anyway, and supporting organizations that spread awareness about missing MMIP. So whoever wrote this says, I asked Charlie what's kept her going all these years later. Charlie says, I know we are so close. I can just feel it. Something is going to come. Something's going to break. She's expecting a break in the case. So let's hope so. So those few mementos are visual reminders not to give up hope. So if you have any information about the homicide of Rhys Pocan, you can contact Detective Nathan Hatch at the Sheboygan County Sheriff's Office at 920-459-3135, or you can email nathan.hatch@sheboygancounty.com. Well, at least I made it through the article. I think that is all that I had on her, but yeah, just so she was abducted, but apparently nobody, hold on, let me go back. Because I know y'all gonna, and I was wondering too about persons of interest. So it says she was abducted while walking along National Avenue. So I wonder if they had any, they would have had, if since they're saying she was abducted, I'm going to assume that somebody saw her being abducted. But once again, we have no, now that might not have been the case. They may just assume she was abducted. But if they had witnesses, are there any descriptions of who abducted her? Anyway, just my thoughts. Let me get back into your comments. Oh, there we go. That's where I was at. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Miss Sandy. No, you guys out there do a fantastic job of supporting everybody, sharing, commenting, liking, doing all the things. You guys, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys. Absolutely. Did I miss something from Dave? Okay. Oh, Arctic says, "Oh Lord, a Milwaukee case. I can understand why it grew cold." Uh-oh. So you have some experience with some Milwaukee cases, or looking into Milwaukee cases? Oh, you do fine. You do fine, Miss Doodle. You guys, if you've listened to me, especially when I'm reading something, I get all jumbled up all the time. I stumble over my own, sometimes I can't even say my own name. Yes, she does have a beautiful smile. I'm telling you, look at that article. Her daughter has a picture of her daughter when she was probably around she says she was, Charlie was 8 when Rhys disappeared and was found. So it has a picture of probably around the time when she was 8, and then it has a picture of her now as an adult, and she looks a whole lot like her mom, like Rhys. Oh, it just makes me want to cry. Yep. Miss Doodle does excellent. Arctic does excellent. All you guys are excellent. You are very welcome. Yep. I don't know if it gave her stats. Let me go back to it might give her, well, no, that information that's on the slide is from the Bureau of Indian Affairs. But yeah, she does look tiny. But I don't think anywhere gave it her actual stats. Yes, Arctic says it takes a special kind of monster to dismember their victim. I bet it was someone she knew. That's too personal not to be. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't know. Was this the one that they found them in the two different hunting properties? And I'm still wondering how far away. Let me go back. How far away they were apart. Yep. So her head and hands were located by hunters in Vernon Marsh, a public hunting ground in Waukesha County. Her torso was found in Nichols Creek, another public hunting ground located in Sheboygan County. Once again, I don't know how far away those two places are. Miss Paula says, "I know it says homicide, but by any chance it could have been a hunting accident?" If she had not been, if it's, now I'm still wondering once again if They say she was abducted. Was it a witnessed abduction? Or are they just assuming she was abducted? So we have that. And with the dismemberment, I would, if not for that, those two things, or especially the dismemberment, I would say, yeah, anything's possible. Could have been a hunting accident and they just, hit her body. But with the dismemberment, I don't know. That just, to me, that's most definitely a homicide. Because, why would, if it was just an accident, you would think and you would hope that the hunters or whoever would, call the police and report it if it was, absolutely an accident. You would hope that they wouldn't hide the body and certainly not do what was done to Rhys. Absolutely. But, anything is possible. Yes. Everyone is awesome. Oh, thank you. Same to you, my friend. There's only a very few creators that I absolutely trust and would endorse with my life. And you guys know who you are. Most of you are in here tonight. I'm back. Am I back? I should be still back, hopefully. Yep. What you see is what you get. This is me. Yeah, the gremlins and the dumpster. Yeah, at least I shouldn't say anything, but at least it's not like Monday night. Any of you guys y'all were here Monday night, it was a cross between my dumpster fire and Miss Doodle's train wrecks. It was just an absolute horror show. Oh, anyway. Yeah, Dave said, whatever you do, don't hit the end stream button. Have you done that before? Yep, Junior says, cannot imagine having a missing child. Absolutely. Yep. Arctic says, and of course it's an open case, so we can't FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, any information. Yes, Miss Barbara would know. She says it can make a person to go crazy. Yep, I'll leave that right there. I agree, Mustang. Yeah, Doodle says, I'm assuming the comment I made about why should the family be doing GoFundMe's to raise money for investigative cost. Doodle says, makes you wonder where all our state taxes go for. Not justice. I know that. She says, absolutely. Yeah, I had to read that 2 or 3 times. I'm like, what? They had to raise money, a GoFundMe, the family did, to help pay investigative cost. It should be a state, local, because she was found on state land. She wasn't found on tribal land, if I read it correctly. I mean, I don't know what I know the difference, but I don't know what kind of funding they have on tribal police and tribal land. But yep, I'm just gonna let that sit right there too. I agree. Yep, Ms. Doodle says, what's the price for justice? Absolutely. Doodle says they don't want me to write them a letter. Here's Miss PJ. Hello, friend. Good to see you. She says, welcome all. Please remember to hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the things. Absolutely. If you're watching Replay Crew, thank you so much we love our Replay Crew. Thank you to everybody who's in chat. Thank you to everybody that's lurking. We love you guys too. Thank you, Arctic. There is Miss PJ's link. There's Miss Farr. Hello, friend. Good to see you. Lots of people snuck in on me. Oh my goodness, which trial is that? Dandy says she's watching a certain kind of trial. Disrespectful, nasty humans. Chris, he said he's watching another live stream right now. Somebody, I can't remember who he said. He Facebook messaged me and let me know he wouldn't be here. But he'll probably be Replay Crew. Get caught up quickly. Wipe my face off again. Lord, I'm sweating. Arctic says Alex Crux sister is doing a GoFundMe for a private detective That's another Milwaukee case, ironically enough. So, I mean, I can, understand, yeah, if they need to hire a private detective, yeah, because I don't think the state or authorities are going to pay for a private detective. But they said in Rhys's case, it was to raise money for investigative purposes. Now, I don't know, it could have been a private detective, but I don't think a private detective was mentioned. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, Mustang says Milwaukee. Yep, Milwaukee makes me think of Dahmer. Thank you, Mustang. Always. All right, I'm caught up. So next we have Nathaniel Ironroad. Let me get his information. All right. Get another quick drink. You'll be proud of me. I'm drinking water tonight instead of my sweet tea. All right. So Nathaniel, this is also from South Dakota from 2019. So Nathaniel was 46 years old when he was assaulted on or about early December of 2019 in McLaughlin, South Dakota. Unfortunately, he would later succumb to his injuries on December 14th of 2019. So I don't know. Maybe there was no witnesses to this assault, or maybe, I mean, either there were no witnesses, and I do have some stuff to read about it, but I don't know if it tells where it was at, if there are witnesses. But anyway, Nathaniel enjoyed playing basketball, making traditional Native American crafts, and he was willing to help anyone in need. The circumstances of his death remain unclear, and his homicide remains unsolved. So, but they know that he was assaulted, which you could tell, obviously, if somebody's been assaulted by injuries. So maybe somebody just found him, came upon him, wherever. But if you have any information regarding the homicide of Nathaniel Ironroad, you're encouraged to contact the Bureau of Indian Affairs at 1-833-560-2065. So that was basic information from Justice, once again, from justicefornativepeople.com. And I do have this next little bit is from a Facebook post. It's called the page or group is Missing and Murdered the Great Plains. And I'll copy this and paste it into the chat in case you guys want to check it out. It's from October of 2023. It says 46-year-old Nathaniel Ironroad suffered a brutal assault in McLaughlin, South Dakota on the Standing Rock Reservation sometime in the early part of December 2019. So they don't even know exactly what date. Maybe somebody just found him. I don't know. Tragically, he did succumb to his injuries on December 19th, 2019 in Bismarck, North Dakota. So it says the circumstances surrounding the assault remain shrouded in mystery, leaving a community haunted but by unanswered questions. Nathaniel's story is one of heartbreak and loss, urging those who may hold vital information to come forward and bring closure to this unsolved mystery. So Nathaniel was born on September 15th, 1973 in Fort Yates. He was remembered as a soul of warmth and kindness. He was raised in the embrace of the Cannonball area. He went to Solon High School, and he later became a DJ at KLND Radio in Little Eagle, South Dakota. It says his soothing voice resonated, weaving a tapestry of love and connection. A skilled artisan in Native American crafts, he found joy in helping others. Nathaniel's legacy, marked by love, basketball games, and the echo of his voice, remain in the hearts of those who deeply miss him. So the Bureau of Indian Affairs, the Office of Justice Services, Missing and Murdered Unit in Bismarck, seek the public's help in uncovering the person or persons accountable for Nathaniel Ironroad's untimely homicide. The quest for justice unfolds in the shadow of this unresolved tragedy. So I don't know, maybe this article, and I read this article, next article I'm going to read a couple of times, but I don't know. To me, they said it's his assault remains shrouded in mystery. To me, that would just, to me, say it was not witnessed. They just maybe, found him after the assault, took him to the hospital, where he unfortunately passed away at the hospital. Because you would think if somebody saw, well, you would think if somebody saw something, they would have said something. But anyway, so let me put the, go to the right tab. That is the link that's going to pop up in chat for the, to that post in particular, but to the, what was it called again? Missing and Murdered, the Great Plains is the name of the page or group or whatever it is. Okay, so I have another article. There we go. And this article is from a website called buffalosfire.com. It is from July of 2025. It says Standing Rock woman dedicated to bringing home missing Indigenous people. So Alva Cottonwood Gabe says that she gets a notification on Facebook every day that someone's loved one is missing. She often posts about the disappearances with the family's permission on the Facebook group that she created in April of 2024. And it doesn't have a click. Maybe it might have a clickable link. The efforts of the group, called Standing Rock Murdered and Missing Indigenous People, go beyond sharing information. When volunteers reach out to her, she puts together a search team. Her friend Carrie Longcloud talks with the friends and family of the missing to determine where they were last seen. Alva and other group members then add the location to a grid, which serves as a starting point for a search. She also communicates with law enforcement and relays important information back to the group. Among the many volunteers who help with tasks when needed are 2 drone operators and a fundraising coordinator. Others provide prayers and food at search meetings and during searches. But the group's work isn't limited to Standing Rock. With the help of other members, Alva posts about Indigenous people who are missing all across the U.S. Billy Lester, who is Alva's niece, says she is always first in line when somebody needs her help. She is always there regardless of her situation. So according to Alva, nearly once a month, someone from her reservation goes missing. And in other areas, such as Rapid City, South Dakota, people go missing almost daily. And her passion for helping others stems from personal experience. So in December 2019, her nephew, Nathaniel Ironroad, was assaulted. Unfortunately, he passed away of his injuries less than 2 weeks later. She says everybody misses him, and he loved his kids so much. He has 4 beautiful daughters. So Nathaniel was widely known as Shazam from his job as a DJ at KLND Radio. Once again, his case is unsolved. Shanna Eagle was Nathaniel's girlfriend and the mother of the 4 daughters. She says he would walk 5 miles to work every day, no matter the weather conditions. Everything he did was for our little girls. So Shanna last heard from tribal police in September of 2024. And this article is from, I believe, 2025, from this year. When they ask routine follow-up questions, she says no arrests have been made in relation to Nathaniel's death. Alva does not want any other families to have unanswered questions. On a few occasions, her group searches have led to the discovery of remains, she said. In May, Alva and her group coordinated the search that found the remains of Zia Bravebull. Alva says the most rewarding part is the closure. At least we are providing that. Families can call on us because we know what we are doing. In her nephew's memory, Alva hosts a radio show once a month where she advocates for victims and survivors of MMIP. People across the country have tuned in and reached out to her in support. She says, Shanna, Nathaniel's girlfriend, says there aren't a lot of people around as dedicated as they are. Alva is one of the angels on earth. My kids call her grandma. So Alva wants tribal police to create a national day of recognition for MMIP. Absolutely. She also said they could do better about working more closely with the families and improving communication. So we hear this once again in all these cases. Communication and working more with the families. So Alva is currently in the process of trying to make her group into a nonprofit to get funding for the services. Once again, any information regarding the death of Nathaniel can be sent to the Bureau of Indian Affairs tip line at 1-833-560-2065. So just we see, like I said earlier, a hamster wheel. It's, going round and round and not getting anywhere. The same, you got the miscommunication or non-communication, if, from tribal police, local, federal, state enforcement, no communication, lack of communication with family members. I mean, it's just, anyway, frustrating, very frustrating. All right, I think that was all I had on Nathaniel. Let me make sure. Okay. Let me check your comments once again. Oh, goodness gracious, I'm melting. I'm stewing again, and I'm in the house. There's where we were. Okay. Oh, we talking about Dahmer. Okay, so I was asking Dandy about which case she was talking about the dismembering. Christopher Wolfenbarger, he dismembered his wife in 1999. She was a daughter of a serial offender, oddly enough. Ooh, I'm gonna have to look into that. Who was she the daughter of? Wow. So do they think the one that took her life, was a serial offender, or was he a husband or anything? I haven't heard of that case. I'll definitely look into it though. Arctic says Nathaniel looks familiar to him for some reason. Yeah, the name sounded familiar to me when I was, scrolling through the BIA website looking for cases, for homicide cases. And the name sounded familiar, but he does look familiar. I was fixing to say maybe because he was missing and I saw a poster, but I mean, I'm assuming they found him I don't know. I'm assuming they found him. It didn't say how long after he was assaulted that he was found. Just said that I think he passed away on, December 19th. It said he was found sometime in December, the victim of an assault. Hey, Chris. Chris did make it. Hey, buddy. How you doing? Dandy says he kind of looks like Chris from the Mob Crew. He does a little bit, yeah. Yep, I know. Almost, I don't know what almost said. Doodle says, "See, it's always the kind ones." I know. They said that Facebook post. It was just. It's a good thing I'm sweating. You can't see the tears mixing in with the sweat. I know. It's just. I mean, nobody. Well, I say 99.9% of people who are the victims of homicide, no matter what I don't know how to say this without deserve to have their life taken. But when it's somebody, that's just, they describe as not, pillar of the community, all these wonderful qualities, it just makes it even just that much more, I understand what you're saying. And probably the way I explained that was just horrible, going to come across horribly, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. Oh goodness, you are talking about, what did Arctic say? Oh my goodness. All right, so what was it? Oh, that's the link to the Facebook post that I put in. I forgot. I was like, what link is that? Yep. Apparently, Mustang is the Chris whisperer. She mentioned asked where Chris was earlier, and now he's here. Yeah. Yep, I told him you had messaged me and said that you were going to be in the live stream. I'm going to have to be on you'll have to send me the link to the live stream, Chris, so I can watch it. Be on Replay Crew. I know, we may have to do a whole show just on Oklahoma. Arctic says there's so many unsolved native homicides and disappearances in Oklahoma alone. It's sad that so many don't get any coverage. I know. Me and Arctic and Doodle, whoever else too wants to join in, may have to do a live stream just on Oklahoma Indigenous cases. Just getting in as many as we can. I mean, yeah, it's just, oh, like I said, it's just frustrating. That would be awesome. Arctic says, I'd love to see an XM radio show that's dedicated to helping families of the missing and murdered get their stories out. Absolutely. Because it's serious. I'm assuming you're talking about Sirius XM radio, because it's like nationwide, worldwide, nationwide at least. Hold on one second. My glasses are fogged up. I can't see anything, even less than I can usually see. Oh shoot, sorry about the noise. I got it tangled up in my mic cord here, my earbud cord. Okay, Dandy says, going back to that case Dandy was talking about, her father was a Flint River chiller. Her husband was just a nasty, abusive man. Oh my goodness. So she didn't have a chance. Poor thing. Good Lord. All right, I think we are caught up again. So let me do that. And why did that? Oh. So this one, we definitely know this one, Michelle Elbow Shield, because I believe, let me get her information loading. We have talked about her before, but it's just when she was just a missing person. Evidently, they have, I believe sometime this year, or I don't know when the remains were actually found, but I think they were positively identified sometime this year. I do have articles. Let me find it. Actually, I have two articles. We'll go with this first one. But yeah, we talked about, or all of us have talked about Michelle several times when she was just missing, before she was found or her remains were found. So when I came across this article or this update that they had on the BIA website, I was like, oh my goodness. So I absolutely had to include Michelle. All right. Sorry if you hear me puffing on my vape. Anyway, so this is Michelle Elbow Shield. She went missing in 2025 from Rapid City, South Dakota. They have found her remains. So let me get to that article. The first article is from people.com, and it is from February of this year, 2025. Human remains found on South Dakota reservation, identified as Sioux woman who disappeared over 1 year ago. So authorities have identified a body found on a South Dakota reservation in January as a Sioux woman who disappeared more than a year ago. The remains of Michelle Elbow Shield were found in the town of Interior on the Pine Ridge Reservation in January, and this is according to Othram Forensic Lab. Michelle was last seen in Rapid City in October of 2023 and reported missing a short time later. The cause and manner of Michelle's death are under investigation, quote, as well as the circumstances around her disappearance. Rapid City Police Chief Don Hedrick said that authorities invested what they said thousands of hours in the investigation into Michelle's disappearance. He added, we hope this recent news can offer some sense of closure for her loved ones. So yes, in the sense that she has been found, she has been brought home. Now, just to find out what happened to her. So Nellie Bald Eagle, who is Michelle's grandmother, previously told KELO-TV that it was not in her granddaughter's character to go somewhere without letting someone know. She says that if she left someplace, she'll let somebody know, or if she's farther away from town, she'll let somebody know. And there was this friend of hers that told me that she contacted him every day. Hopefully they've talked to this friend. Not saying that the friend had anything to do with it, but so initially authorities were unable to identify Michelle, quote, due to the condition of the remains, according to Othram. Hedrick said a break in the case came thanks to information shared by the public. So yes, the public helped. So Othram said they worked with the BIA Missing and Murdered Unit and the Rapid City Police Department to identify the remains through advanced DNA testing. A comprehensive DNA profile was developed for Michelle using forensic-grade genome sequencing, and a potential relative was eventually identified. The individual provided a sample, and Michelle was identified a short time later. So Othram said, quote, it's the first publicly announced case in South Dakota where investigators used technology developed by Othram to identify an individual. So Kristen Middleman, who's the Chief Developmental Officer at Othram, said in a statement, something like this is heartbreaking for a family to go through, but being able to deliver answers is important so that law enforcement can get to the truth. Hedrick said the police department plans to use all available combined resources in order to bring Michelle's case to a resolution. He said, we remain committed to fully investigating the circumstances surrounding her disappearance through collaboration with the involved public safety agencies in order to uphold justice in the case. And that's according to the sheriff. And when this article was written, it said police and Othram did not immediately respond to people's request for comment. So that's that. Let me see what else I had. So this one, some of the investigators are talking about Michelle's case. This is from DakotaNewsNow.com. Investigators speak about Michelle Elbow Shield's disappearance and future of MMIP cases. It is from February of this year, 2025. Get rid of the ads. So Michelle Elbow Shield, 26, went missing in September of 2023 after being seen last in Rapid City. Tragically, law enforcement recently confirmed they discovered her deceased on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation. The Rapid City Police Department conducted the investigation into Michelle's disappearance in conjunction with the BIA Missing and Murdered Unit. And from what I read on their website, that's fairly new. The Bureau of Indian Affairs just recently, it could have been months, year or so, that they put together this Missing and Murdered Unit. So one of the BIA investigators on the case is Micah Ware. So to confirm that the body belonged to Michelle, the BIA worked with a private firm developing technology to help in these cases. Ware explained, we worked with RCPD to provide DNA samples to our contracted forensic lab, which is Authorum, to help make a positive identification. So once again, we know what Authorum does. They were able to match, once again, the remains by cross-referencing the samples with a relative's DNA. It says the BIA and Authorum have been collaborating on cases like Michelle's for more than 2 years. So that's good. That's progress. Authorum Chief Commercial Officer Andrew Singer said, we do a lot of work with them. We're an extension, in all honesty, and partners with them and really pursuing justice in these cases. The BIA announced Operation Spirit Return, which is an initiative focused on bringing peace to the families of missing and murdered Indigenous people. Ware says this operation focuses on reuniting those remains with family members and returning them back to their tribal communities. So that's all good and dandy, good and well. But keep it going and do your best. Not saying that they don't, but do your best to find out what happened. What happened? All right. So I think that's all I had on Michelle. But yeah, I was just shocked when I came across this, and it was now listed as a homicide case, or that they had found her remains. I was not surprised that it was listed, there was a homicide. Okay, I think that's all I had on Michelle. I think we have 2 more to go. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We still have a full house. Chatters and lurkers and replay crew, thank you, thank you, thank you. You talking to me, Chris? Thank you, if you are. Thank you, thank you. Okay. Unmark that. Oh, well. I'm talking to myself. Just carry on. Yes, Miss Barbara says she remembers Michelle. I know, yeah, I know. We talked about her probably more than once. So probably this year for MMIP Awareness Month, for the last, I know I did one this past year, or in 2024 and this year, whenever. I know I've done at least one MMIP live stream during Awareness Month. But yeah, I've shared her flyer many times when she was, like I said before, she was found missing, but absolutely. So to the case that Dandy was talking about, she says Melissa was found because her father, who was the serial offender, asked detectives to search for her after he confessed to his crimes. Wow. Now you've got me intrigued. I'm going to have to check that out. Where have you been watching that at? So Miss Doodle says, wisdom once told me that natives believe that to separate the body is to separate the spirit. Absolutely. That was personal. Yep. Yep. I think I watched Wisdom a couple of times. But yeah, I remember when you posted that she had passed away. Dandy says you are, Miss Doodle was correct. Absolutely. Chris talking about Wisdom says she's one of the people that I miss most because she was always kind to me and others. Yep, I'm telling you, Arctic says Authorum gives the FBI a run for their money when it comes to genetics and DNA. I know. I'm telling you, because I come across, and we talk about Authorum a lot because you know me, I love the genetic genealogy stuff, especially when it comes to helping identify does and helping to solve cases with DNA. I mean, yeah, you never hear that. You don't hardly hear anything about the FBI doing it. It's Authorum. Thank God. Thank God somebody does. I agree. Dandy says there's a great documentary about the encampments on or near reservations and the crimes that accompany them. Excellent. What's it called? I will watch it if it's on the streaming service that I have. Oh, thank you, Junior. Junior sent $5. Thank you so much, sir. All right, we get to put a cow in the pasture. Sorry, I had to get a drink. Thank you so much, Junior. That was very kind of you, Junior. Longtime supporter, longtime friend. Since back in the Mr. Steve chat room days. That's where I would always see Junior. Yeah, and Mr. Steve was in the for a little bit was in the Drunk Turkey Show chat when Miss Barb was on last night. Always good to see and hear from Mr. Steve. Absolutely, thank you so much, Junior. Oh yeah, okay. I can definitely watch it on the. Yeah, I can watch it on YouTube. Dandy says it's all on YouTube or news articles. Yes, Junior is our rock star. Thank you so much, Junior. I hope I didn't miss him. Thank you, sir. He says he's heading to bed. Thanks, everyone. Absolutely. Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right. We're caught up. All right. I got a couple of more. Oh, we haven't even gone an hour and a half yet. We're doing good. We're doing good. So next we have Emily Morgan. Oh my goodness. We didn't even have to put up the Mr. Steve signal. Mr. Steve, did someone say Mr. Steve 3 times? Apparently so. Mr. Steve, have you seen thanks to sorry, that's so funny. So evidently we did summon Mr. Steve or he's been lurking. Either way is fine with me. We're always glad to see and hear from Mr. Steve. But have you seen, courtesy of Doodle, let me find it. We have the Mr. Steve signal. Are you ready? Here it comes. Where's that? There it is. There's the Mr. Steve signal. So whenever we need to summon Mr. Steve, we either say his name 3 times, just like Beetlejuice, or we put up this lovely Mr. Steve signal that Doodle made. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it. You just made my night, Mr. Steve, as always. Oh, goodness gracious. Big welcome to Mr. Steve. We love our Mr. Steve and Mrs. Steve and all the Steves. I hope all the Steves, the whole Steve family is doing well. Absolutely. 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 Yep. Yep. So say it 3 times, just like Beetlejuice. Oh my goodness. That is classic. And then it says, so I'll have to get back to you on the documentary name. I'll share it in Discord. Okay, thank you. I just have to remember to check my Discord. Lord, I always forget about Discord. Yep, everybody, see? Yep. Yep, Mr. Steve was there last night but in chat in the drunk turkey show. Yes, now I want waffles too. I know. I want waffles. See, yeah, Doodle says, she said it the other night too. She says, well, we haven't ever seen him and Batman and Bigfoot in the same room. Yep, Doodle is on to something. As always. Yep, we're catching on. I think we got Mr. Steve figured out. But now since we got him figured out, he's gonna change his MO. Then we'll have to refigure him out. All right, so we have Emily Morgan. Let me get her article. Let me see what this said. So this is from, I have to make it bigger so I can read it. I'm gonna try, Arctic, you may have to help me pronounce this. It's from Oklahoma, BACHE, Botch. Am I close? From August of 2016. The BIA, OGS, Missing and Murdered Unit, and Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation are seeking any information that may assist them with the ongoing investigation into Emily's case. Once again, you submit tips by texting 847-411 or calling 1-833-560-2065. I'm assuming that's one of the Oklahoma LE numbers. Or emailing ogs.mmu@bia.gov. Once again, you can call the BIA tip line 833-560-2065. All right, so we got all the numbers covered. Oh, I thought I had the article loading. Okay, so this article, it'll load. Okay, Arctic says he believes it's Bach. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Paula says, let's go to 1. Oh, honey, I don't think I can do 1. It's only 10 o'clock my time, Central Time. I don't think I can do another 3 hours. Oh, okay. So this is from mprnews.org from, dad blame ads. When is it from? April of this year, 2025, opening people's eyes. Experts partner with law enforcement to find an offender in an MMIW case. So 23-year-old Emily Morgan of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma joined the heartbreakingly long list, absolutely, of unsolved homicides of Native American women in the U.S. on August 26, 2016. Her best friend, once again, I'm going to apologize if I mispronounce this. Her best friend, Tadanika Elix, 24, was also killed. So we have 2. They were gunned down as they sat in Emily's car near McAllister, Oklahoma. I'm sure Arctic probably has heard about this case. Both young women were single mothers. Tadanika was not Native, but still, so tragically, like many such cases, police were unable to positively identify a perpetrator or perpetrators, and the investigation has slowed in recent years. But in a remarkable turn of events, they say, the case has recently taken center stage in police circles. Not only has it attracted the attention of the recently created Bureau of Indian Affairs Missing and Murdered Unit, but also a little-known elite group of criminal investigators called the Vidocq Society. Now, I've heard of the Vidocq Society. I don't know if Mr. Steve has. I'm sure he's heard of it. So what is the Vidocq Society? So the society was founded in 1990. It is named after Eugene Francois Vidocq, who was an 18th century French criminal turned cop who was the confidant of writers Victor Hugo and Honoré Balzac, and an inspiration to poet Edgar Allan Poe. Edgar Allan Poe is probably my favorite poet of all time. Surprise, surprise. So the society of 82 members, which is one for each year of Eugene Francois Vidocq, who the thing is named after, has played a role in several high-profile cases, including the case of Joseph Augustus Zarelli, who is the boy in the box, who remained unidentified for decades after his 1957 death, which still remains unsolved. But they did identify him, or somebody did. So members of the society conducted training in 2023 with the BIA police in Billings, Montana. And this year in April, the society invited the BIA Missing and Murdered Unit to its monthly meeting in Philadelphia. So at the Philadelphia meeting, the society announced that members would assist in investigating the Emily Morgan case from Oklahoma, and had committed to working on one case involving a Native American victims each year. So the all-volunteer nonprofit Vidoc Society takes on nine cases per year. Kim Merriman, who is Emily's mother, says, "I'm so honored that the Vidoc Society," and I hope I'm pronouncing Vidoc correctly, it's VIDOCQ. She says, "I'm so honored that the Vidoc Society took on our case." They are Emily and her mom, or it says her mom, I'm assuming Emily too, is a citizen of the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma. So Kim, Emily's mom, has been discouraged that police have not yet arrested the suspect in the shooting, and about the lack of public attention to the case. Once again, the whole reason that we're here tonight. So Merriman believes racism and her daughter's involvement with substances played a role, and unfortunately that is also true. Emily's mom goes on to say, "I was extraordinarily happy that another case's family got the help that they had, but for mothers like me, it was infuriating because the whole nation came together for this other case, and I've had to fight the public ever since my daughter's life was taken." So I don't want to say the name of the other case. You can probably know who it is. Just, I don't want to. Obviously, that other case was important also, but it got a ton load of attention. So her mom goes on to say, "From the very first phone call I made with Oklahoma police, they started with victim shaming comments." I can hear Arctic already in the chat. So the public also seemed to blame Emily for her own homicide, saying that she knew what she was doing when she got involved in an illegal lifestyle. Of course, this is according to her mom. So apparently Emily delivered substances and money for a dealer, and her mom believes that he was the one that arranged for Emily for her to be taken out. And then I don't know if her friend was just an innocent bystander or whatever. At any rate, it's horrible. So Emily was born and raised in the little town of Hugo, Oklahoma. But I'm trying to think if we passed through there when we went to Arizona. Anyway, focus. Okay, so Emily was born and raised in the little town of Hugo, Oklahoma, but moved to Oklahoma City in 2016 to attend Rose State College. She was interested in a career in environmental sciences like her mother, who is the environmental assessment officer for the Choctaw Nation. So it was in Oklahoma City that she met her friend Tadanika Elix, who was from the city. She was raising her young daughter, and they quickly became friends. So Tadanika's mother, Tawana Brown, declined to speak with ICT. I'm assuming that's who did this article. But in an earlier interview with NBC News Dateline, she said her daughter was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And her mom says the next thing we know, she lost her life. So Emily did struggle with substances for several years. She was 18 when she met the unidentified dealer, who quickly got her involved with his business of running stuff between Oklahoma City and small towns like McAllister. So several years older than Emily and married with children of his own, this man showered her with money, gifts, and substances, but he also demanded other favors from her, if you get what I mean. In addition to her working as a mule. So we know what a mule is. Emily's mom says he's a sick predator. Absolutely. It was simple for him to take advantage of a young woman with a toddler to care for and whose baby's daddy was in prison. So she believes that her daughter was not his first victim. Excuse me. And he continues to prey on young women to forward his criminal enterprise. Her mom says, yes, she was involved in criminal activity, but not at a level to get for her life to be taken. Although Merriman named the dealer, they are not releasing his name publicly, or not in this article, since the police have not yet publicly identified him as a suspect. Merriman believes that the dealer grew tired of Emily's increased demands for more substances and money and simply decided to just get rid of her. So what Emily thought was another routine delivery turned out to be a setup. So once again, this is all just according to her mom, what her mom believes, which I no reason to doubt her. I wouldn't doubt it at all. She frequently took others along when she made these trips, eager for some time away from childcare duties. And on this occasion, her friend Tadanika accepted Emily's invitation to join her on the trip to McAllister. Emily's mom says that shortly after Emily's homicide, the dealer called and offered to pay for her silence, claiming that he had loved her daughter. So I don't know if Mr. Steve is still here, but is that not suspicious? Why would you call and say, why would you call if you had nothing to do with it? Why would you call and offer to pay for the mom's silence? Silence for what? If you didn't do nothing, what's there to be silent about? And he claimed that he loved Emily. Anyway, so her mom says, I said, if you think I'm going to keep my mouth shut about anything that I know about the relationship that you had with Emily, then you've got another thing coming. And I could so hear that in Miss Barbara's voice. Talking about not all law enforcement, but we know about Timmy's case. Anyway, so she says, if you loved her like you said you do, then you would want to do everything in your power to find her offender. So according to Emily's mom, this dealer is a member of a gang known for its violence related to its activities and selling substances. And indeed, the Oklahoma Gang Investigators Association names Southeast Oklahoma as a region known for violent gangs. So both Emily and Tadanika's families have worked tirelessly to keep the case before the public eye. Initially, the case was handled by the OSBI, the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation. But Emily's mom and advocates for the Northeast Oklahoma Indigenous Safety and Education Foundation, long names, also known as NOISE, have insisted that since the area where the women were killed is covered by the U.S. Supreme Court ruling in McGirt versus Oklahoma, the case should be investigated by federal authorities. In that opinion, the court ruled that a large portion of eastern Oklahoma constitutes Indian country, so criminal cases are subject to tribal or federal court jurisdiction. Once again, here we go with the jurisdiction thing. So a lot has changed for Native American victims of violence since 2016 in Oklahoma and the rest of the country. The Choctaw Nation had virtually no resources to offer in support at the time of Emily's death, according to her mom. Her mom says, but now things have changed immensely. The tribe created MMIW CHAHTA, CHAHTA, which is a missing and murdered support group. And it says CHAHTA is the term used for the Choctaw for themselves in their language. Okay, I was wondering what that meant. So Emily's mom says, I thank God for my tribal membership and my MMIW groups. They have pulled me through this whole thing. So when police first told Emily's mom of Emily's homicide, she lay down on the floor and screamed. She says, but I could not lay down and die of a broken heart. I have grandchildren and a daughter to care for. So Emily's mom is now on the board of NOISE and regularly gives talks about her family's experience and MMIW. She says, when I go out to speak, I always say, before this happened, my daughter death for Native American women. None of us knew that back in 2016. See, that's, how could you, I mean, I'm not big on statistics, but you would think that that kind of statistic, you know, you might have people might the people who do these statistics and the mainstream media, for instance, should, you know, maybe push that out a little bit more, that information. So rates of homicide, SA, and violent crime are all higher for Native Americans than the national average. Oklahoma ranks among the top 10 states with the highest rates of MMIW. So in August of 2024, which is the anniversary of Emily's death, her mom and her colleagues among MMIW advocates organized a social media blitz to draw new attention to the case. Emily's mom says, we put out the BIA's missing and murdered units number, asking people to text and urge them to take on Emily's case. So not long after, Vincent Marcelino, who's the special agent for the BIA's MMU, contacted her. Marcelino said the agency was taking on Emily's case and that he would be in charge of the investigation. Excuse me. So the BIA's MMU was created in 2021, so it's relatively new, as part of directives under the Not Invisible Act of 2020, designed to address the crisis of violence against Native American and Alaska Native people. Sorry, excuse me. Headquartered in Albuquerque, New Mexico, which I hear is not a, well, maybe parts of it are not so safe. The unit collaborates with other agencies to solve violent crimes committed against Native peoples, works with the FBI to coordinate a centralized intake process for missing and murdered case referrals, and focuses on solving cold cases as part of its Operation Spirit Return, which identifies unknown human remains. So that's what goes back to what Duda was saying earlier, that wisdom has said, you know, you separate about the separated of the body and the soul, or the spirit and the, I'm sorry, I just, you know what you said earlier, Doodle. So the unit also conducts and coordinates training among tribal and mainstream police organizations. It was a training course that brought the unit and the Vidocq Society together. In 2023, O.J. Siemens, executive director of the Coalition of Large Tribes, known as COLT, helped organize a Vidocq training and billings for tribal law enforcement and leaders from South Dakota, North Dakota, and Montana, as well as local police departments in Rapid City and Billings. So one of the hopes was to help open up dialogue regarding MMIW cases among the various departments. According to Siemens, who is a citizen of the Rosebud Sioux tribe, the Vidocq members were surprised at the jam-packed schedule that Colt had organized. Siemens said, I told them we're so short-handed in Indian country that we can't bring that many police officers together for 5 to 6 days. He says, we had to condense things because these people need to get back to their reservations. I can understand that. So indeed, spending on law enforcement in the BIA is funded at just under 13% of its total need. Wow. A 2021 BIA report shows that although the need was around $1.7 billion, only $256 million was spent. So hearing about the lack of funding and resources under which tribal police operate touched the Vidocq members. According to Siemens, he said they made a commitment to take on 1 Native case per year. The society has also agreed to offer more training to Indian country. Excuse me, Marcelino and 2 of his colleagues, Micah Ware, who is the deputy unit chief of the MMU unit of the BIA, and Christopher Lorenz, associate director of the BIA Special Investigations Division, then traveled to a place as unlikely as the Union League of Philadelphia to present the case of Emily Morgan to the Vidocq Society at the group's monthly luncheon. So most of the society's work is conducted virtually among its 82 members and another 100 or so special members. The society is a closed organization that does not take membership requests. Members must be invited. What was that cartoon? The Justice League? That reminds me of the Justice League, the old cartoons from back in the 70s. So special membership is by referral to the board of directors by a full member. So I wonder what the special members, what do you have to do to be a special member? They need to let Mr. Steve in. No, Mr. Steve is good on his own. Mr. Steve is good on his own. So the society works only with law enforcement organizations and only at their invitation, which is usually how things work. Models of discretion. Full members are entitled to wear the Vidocq Society boutonniere, the tiniest of pins, a powerful quote, "If you know, you know" statement. So they have a secret decoder pin. Sorry, I'm not making fun. I'm just... So the organization's Form 990, federal tax form required of nonprofits, indicates that the society has net assets of just a little over $23,000 and barely generated enough income through membership dues and private donations to pay its expenses of almost $57,000 in 2023. Investigative work conducted by members is entirely voluntary and recipients pay nothing. Just see if they're... so talking about their dress code. We don't care about the dress code. They're doing a good thing, but we don't want to hear about the dress code. So after the lunch, ICT, which is, I'm assuming whoever wrote this, was invited to wait outside of the meeting while Marcelino presented Emily's case to the members, who are keen on confidentiality and protecting the integrity of the case on which they advise. Society members offer insight and opinions on cases brought to them. They don't like to take credit for cases and prefer to leave that to the local law enforcement. So Vidocq board member Joseph Petrie, who is also a state trooper from New Jersey, in charge of missing persons for the state, says law enforcement is always leading their own case, but we bring in fresh eyes. And we anticipate additional opportunities to work with the BIA. We think it is a great partnership. Marcelino said, "We all know there's a disconnect between law enforcement, but we are here in a good way. Hopefully we can use the collaboration with the Vidocq Society to propel the work forward. We got phenomenal feedback today." So Marcelino, who works out of the BIA's Oklahoma City office, urged people to reach out to the MMU via the website or call the tip line, which once again is 833-560-2065, with information about missing or murdered cases. And the unit also offers a victim services program. Marcelino says, "We are dedicated to this case, to Emily Morgan and other victims." So reflecting on Emily being the first Native American case presented to the Vidocq Society, Merriman noted that, which is her mom, noted that her daughter yearned for recognition. Her mom says she always wanted to be famous. "I know she didn't want it to be this way, but through her case, maybe she will be. She wanted everyone to know who she was and to see her." She says Emily's story is changing things for other women and opening people's eyes. Absolutely. So I can't remember exactly where I'd heard about this Vidocq Society, but I'd heard about it before. But kudos to them for helping out with MMIP cases. I know that was a long article, but I liked it because it had a lot of good information in it. Anyway, let me get a drink so I won't try not to lose my voice and get caught up in your comments. Oh my goodness. Okay. Get down to, hopefully I remember to mark where I was. Wow, lots of comments. Okay, hold on. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Talk amongst yourselves. Smoke them if you got them. No, don't smoke them if you got them. I say as I'm puffing on my vape. Okay, I remember that. Doodle's comment about wanting waffles, so I went back too far. Doodle says, sorry, I have way too much time on my hands. No, you don't. Okay, so that's what Arctic said. He believes it's Bach, Oklahoma. Okay, so Dandy, according to the Google machine, I think I'll probably take Arctic used to live in Oklahoma or was born in Oklahoma. But Dandy says Google says the name Bach in Bach, Oklahoma is pronounced Baish. I don't know. Either way, Bach is easier to say. Either way, it is in Oklahoma. Mustang says she grew up in Oklahoma. I know she knows where that is. So do you know how to pronounce the correct note to pronounce it? We got two. Arctic said Bach and Google said Baish. Yeah, we'll just leave it to Oklahoma. Somewhere in Oklahoma. Yeah, I believe Arctic was born in Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma City. I've been to Oklahoma City once. We went over there for a Pearl Jam concert when they came to Oklahoma City. And while we were there, we went to the memorial for the Murrah building. Just awesome. Awesome, but, and I say awesome, not, I mean, it's a beautiful memorial. It's very sad, but it's very beautiful. Anyway, what? You been to the what in Tulsa? I've been to the present in Tulsa. Does that count? I think I've been to Salina, Oklahoma. I'm not sure. I've been to some places in just across the border from Arkansas into Oklahoma. Oh, the prison. Is that what you meant when you said present? I'm not going to assume. There's Miss Gail. Hello, ma'am. We were just talking about you. We hope you are doing okay, feeling better. We heard that you had some medical problems going. But it's very good to see you. Absolutely. Welcome. Yes, everybody is absolutely welcoming Miss Gail back. What is disgusting? What did I miss? Hold on. Y'all talking about something disgusting. Are you talking about the prison? I might have missed something. Or maybe you're talking about the case. I don't know. With these, yeah, you must be talking about, yeah, the victim shaming. Yeah. Arctic says, oh, yeah, Oklahoma and victim shaming go hand in hand. I know, it's just, it's always been, for me and for most of us, the good ones here that do it for the right reasons. It doesn't, I mean, people make mistakes, people make bad choices, but that absolutely does not mean that they should be the victim of a homicide, no matter what. I mean, it's just, yes, absolutely disgusting, a victim shaming. Victim shaming, family bashing. That's why my little creeper down there, no victim or family bashing or shaming. Yes, very disgusting. Yes, we hope you're feeling better, Miss Gail. She says, thank you. Good to see you all. Sorry I've missed. I've been going through some medical stuff. Oh, it's fine, Miss Gail. It is fine, ma'am. We are so glad that you are hopefully doing better. Uh-oh, Arctic says he is PO'd at the Tulsa PD right now. Uh-oh, why? What did they do now? Yes, definitely great having Miss Gail here. Arctic says he went to Rose State, which was Emily, or no, Emily's mom. Emily's mom went to, and I think Emily was going to go or going to. But Arctic says he went to Rose State in Midwest City for a few semesters. Excellent. I think yeah, criminology. So I think I know what he studied. Yeah, criminology. Mr. Steve says, I think I made up with cop facts in Oklahoma. Then again, I usually don't know where I'm at when I travel. Yeah, you always say that. You're somewhere in some state. I think maybe sometimes you know what state you're in at least. Okay, so Mustang says McAllister is where one of Oklahoma prisons is. Yeah, so that wasn't, didn't the article say that she was going to McAllister for this deal or to run the substances? Miss Barbara said, Mustang says she didn't know where she is, and Miss Barbara says she knows that she's at home. Yep, I rely so much. Arctic says if it weren't for GPS, I'd always be lost while traveling. I know. I rely on ever since I got the smartphone with the GPS. That I call her Karen. Speaking of Karen, the little voice that tells you where to go, turn left at the next stoplight or whatever. I rely on GPS, Google Maps way too much, but it comes in handy if I'm delivering groceries, doing my Spark orders to some place that I don't know where I'm going, that I've never been to before. If it's not right there in town where I've delivered to, 1,000 times. Yes, I absolutely agree. Chris says, Mr. Steve, you should have a storytelling episode on your channel. He mentions every once in a while that he was going to tell us some stories, maybe in a members live. Yep, I think that's an excellent idea. Sorry, you hear me getting my water here. Who are you talking about, Miss Paula? Miss Paula says, was he considered a suspect? Oh, the dealer. In my opinion, yeah. Well, and I think Emily's mom says that she thinks, just her opinion, once again, she thinks that the dealer / boyfriend had something to do with Emily's death, and Tadanika, her friend, who was also killed. Mr. Steve says, I know where I start and where I end, the in-between, not so much. Oh, I like that. I think that can pretty much describe all of us in a variety of situations or just meaning. I know where I start, I know where I end, the in-between, not so much. I'm going to steal that. I like that. I like that. They can be applied to any manner of situations, feelings, existing, Yep, he still has his channel, but he's been out on the road. This is the time of year he's been out on the road doing the good work. Arctic says, in his opinion, McGirt did more harm than good in the investigation of native cases. Gotcha. Absolutely check out Miss Doodle. Yes, I've mentioned before, Dandy said she had to go check to see if she was still subscribed. YouTube has been terrible with notifications. Check to make sure that any channel, a YouTube channel that you want to be subscribed to, that you have subscribed to, periodically, please check to make sure you are still subscribed, because apparently, as Arctic says, the crazy YouTube gods will unsubscribe you just at random or just for whatever reason, who knows. So yes, all channels that you think you're still subscribed to, check and make sure that you still are subscribed, that your notification settings are the way you want them, because the YouTube gods have lost their minds apparently. Once again, thank you. There is Mr. Steve's link. There is Arctic's link. Absolutely. There's Miss PJ's link. There is Dave's link. Thank you guys. I always forget to thank you guys for throwing links in and keeping an eye on the chat. We've had a good chat tonight. We haven't had any interruptions, shall we say. Yeah, Mr. Steve says, I took a break to catch up on several cases in private consulting. I'll restart at some point on YouTube. Absolutely. And Mr. Steve, we will be here absolutely We are always here for Mr. Steve, no matter what he is doing or where he is at. Even if he doesn't know where he's at, we are still with him. We are behind him. There's Miss Paula. Once again, Doodle, you are very welcome, Miss Paula. No, you are not a terrible supporter. Miss PJ says, I've been listening and watching, making sure everyone is behaving. Yeah, so far as I've seen, unless you guys have deleted or banned, and I just haven't caught it. Y'all always do good. I never worry. You guys take care of business, and I appreciate it so much. Yep, so far, none of them troll things tonight. Oh, PJ says she had to block like crazy today. Oh, goodness. Yeah, Echoes is our wannabe troll. Yeah, he counts. I don't know if he's still here. He may be in bed. I don't know if he works nights or days or nights. I don't know. He works at the airport, but I don't know if he works days or I guess he works nights because usually he'll pop in because I do my live streams at night. But anyway, yes, he is our honorary troll. Uh, My goodness. So Miss Gail says, thanks for asking about her health. Absolutely. She's had some crazy health issues. The latest is a regurgitating heart valve. Oh my goodness. But other stuff too. And my 5 doctors are trying to figure it all out and what caused it. Oh, God bless you, ma'am, for everything. You're in our thoughts and prayers and good vibes your way. Yep. Eggos is a bad brother. He's a good brother. It's just that we were so close in age. We're only 3.5 years apart. You know, typical siblings when we were growing up. And then our youngest brother, Daniel, he's 9.5 years younger than me. So I helped raise him. So yes, we definitely hope they get Miss Gail figured out soon. Absolutely. Yes, the heat is melting everybody's mind. The zombies are out. Oh goodness. Let's see. I'm just getting caught up, and I think we have one more case. Congratulations. That is amazing, Dandy. So she quit smoking almost 5 weeks ago. Good on you, girlfriend. Sincerely. Okay, Mustang says it is beige. Oh, goodness. Oh, maybe I shouldn't put that up there anyway. Let's see. Mustang said 100 about something. I don't know. Doodle says Oklahoma and Missouri are toe to toe on victim shaming and blaming. Yeah, unfortunately, you are correct. You are so welcome. There's JP. Oh, see, did I say JP's name 3 times? I summoned JP. Apparently, we summoned Mr. Steve. We said his name 3 times, and he appeared. Yeah, it's probably. Yeah, I think it's a problem in anywhere. In certain places, Mustang says Arkansas, at least the part that she's from, do victim blame too. Yeah, like I said, I think it's a nationwide problem. Not saying all agencies do, but some do, unfortunately. Dandy says she dislikes almost everything about Missouri. Thank you, Doodle. There is JP's channel, one of his channels. Arctic also got it in. Doodle says she's lucky she can remember where I parked. I know, that's me. Uh-oh. Are you still at work, Bubba? He says, I want to go home. Daylight come and I want to go home. Yeah, are you tallying your bananas? Now I got that song going in my head. Now I want to watch Beetlejuice. We're talking about Beetlejuice. Anyway, I got to get focused. I'm sorry, guys. PJ says she's glad she doesn't drive. She would lose her car. Yep, our honorary troll is back. Oh goodness, why do you have? Okay, so Echo says I have a new nickname at work, the Undertaker. Do we want to know how you got that nickname? Is it your love of wrestling? I love the Undertaker. I don't know if you like the Undertaker. You'll have to tell the story. Man, it's hot. Oh. Oh goodness. So Echo says my dispatchers gave it to me because a lot of employees that come to see me never make it back. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to see Mr. Steve after you. Mr. Steve, you might have to be going to Minnesota and checking up on Echoes, my brother there, and see what he's been up to. Have to investigate him. Oh goodness. Uh, well, that is true. I've had to dump a few, not too many, but I'll watch the channel for a while before I actually subscribe to it, just to make sure that it's something worthy of subscribing to. But I do, I'll watch some channel because aside from true crime, I watch a lot of like channels that do like social commentary, reaction videos, things like that on different subjects, aside from true crime. But I'll watch them for a while just to make sure before I subscribe. Yes, Mr. Steve is the bestest. Oh, Doodle says, what? I don't know if I believe that. Steve is all about details. Yeah, that is true. See, I do that too. I've accidentally called Miss PJ JP, and I've all called JP PJ. I get them mixed up. JP says he's been busy, barely time to do anything. Yes, he is in burrito, as Beavis and Butthead would say. Yep, you're here. You're our honorary troll. You're our honorary troll. You're the troll that we like. Yes, Miss Gail says Mr. and Mrs. Steve are awesomeness. Absolutely. And I need to, let me grab the link right quick, and I promise we will get to our, oh, dadgummit, I closed out the tab. Give me 1 second, get the link to the True Crime Web Foundation website and put it in chat. Where do I want to go? Right there. What are you doing? Oh my goodness, what did I do? Dadgummit, did I? Oh, I went to the wrong tab. Shoot. I'm losing my mind. All right, here is the link to the truecrimeweb.com foundation, nonprofit. Do check it out. Arctic says, I have the kind of brother you want to give a plot of land to. Granted, the plot is 6 feet deep, but hey, it's a thought that counts. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, allegedly. Apparently everybody has brothers and sisters like that. Danny says she went to Minnesota once. I love that meme. Oh God. Mr. C echoes, Brian echoes says, as long as you aren't an undies taker, you get a pass. Oh my goodness. I have no comment on that. I can neither confirm nor deny. Miss Gail says, my nickname is Stormy because I was named after Gail Storm. Stormy, not Daniels. Gail Storm. Why does that name sound familiar? Yep. Miss Barbara says, send your favorite Echo, send your favorite picture for the flyer to Doodlebug, and she will make you one, a flyer. There is the link to truecrimeweb.com. Doodle says, now she's glad that she's an only child. Okay. All right. Back to serious business. We got, I think, one more case to get to. Stacy Hill. Let me get her information. And I did find an article. Let me read what the information is from the BIA. We didn't have, actually, there was no information listed because when you clicked on the name on most of these, I put it on the slides. It had just a little synopsis of the case, but Stacy's did not have anything. But luckily, I was able to find an article. Oh, sorry. I had to turn on my camera. This is from investigationdiscovery.com. Questions remain in 2009 case, and this one's from Minnesota. 2009 case of high school senior found deceased on Minnesota tribal land. And this is articles from November of 2022. So a 17-year-old girl was discovered deceased on a northwestern Minnesota reservation nearly 2 months after she went missing, and over 13 years, longer than that now. So about 16 years now, there are still few answers about what happened to her. Stacy Lynette Hill was last seen alive in early September of 2009. So there's no actual date of when she was last seen. And her remains were located on October 27th that year on the Red Lake Indian Reservation. I don't know what part of Minnesota that's in, according to the U.S. Department of the Interior Indian Affairs. So an online obituary states that Stacy was born in Minneapolis and raised and educated in Red Lake. So Red Lake, I'm assuming Minnesota, or Red Lake Tribal. I still don't know where that is in Minnesota. Red Lake, which is a sovereign tribal reservation, owned and governed by members of the Red Lake Band of Chippewa Indians. So Stacy, a high school senior, was a good student. She was popular with teachers and classmates. She was looking forward to graduating. The obituary says that she was very creative. She enjoyed beading, drawing, reading, basketball, the computer, watching movies, taking long walks with family and friends. So normal teenage stuff. The teenager's life was commemorated at a traditional funeral service in July of 2010, nearly 1 year after she passed away. A person posting to a Facebook memorial on January 28, 2020, observed the date would have been Stacy's golden birthday. I don't know if that has something to do with Native American culture. I'm assuming. So in a 2014 post, another commented about how they loved and missed Stacy, noting, quote, "Wish you were here. Just wish I knew what happened to you." Native American communities and Indigenous women in particular are the victims of assault, abduction, and homicide at rates far higher than the national average. Once again, I think it's 10 times higher. A 2016 National Institute of Justice study determined a staggering 84.3% of American Indian and Alaska Native women, or 4 out of 5, will have experienced violence in their lifetime. Over 56% have been the victim of SA, according to the study. Native women who live on reservations face a homicide rate that is as much as 10 times the U.S. average, and homicide is listed as the 3rd leading cause of their deaths, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. The BIA, Bureau of Indian Affairs, estimates there are currently well over 4,000 active missing and murder cases, many of which have remained unsolved, quote, due to a lack of investigative resources available to identify new information from witness testimony or to re-examine new or retained material evidence, as well as reviewing fresh activities of suspects. So once again, if you have any information about any MMIW, MMIP, contact the Bureau of Indian Affairs Missing and Murdered Unit via text, which is 847-411, by phone, 833-560-2065, or email at ojs_MMU@bia.gov. So not a whole lot of information regarding, but I mean, this was better than nothing. This was literally the only article that I could find besides, and like I said, even the BIA website didn't even have basic information listed for her. All right, so that was our last one. So let me get into your comments. Oh, and we will get out of here for the night because my voice is about to go. It's about done for. Well, Miss Barbara is blaming Doodle for something again. Yes, she is a beautiful girl, beautiful smile. I thought the same thing when I saw that picture. Absolutely. Yes, she is gorgeous. Okay, so Gail says Gail Storm is an old actress from the 50s. Gail Storm, my parents spelled Gail differently. Oh, that reminded me. What was anybody? I know Miss Paula's probably seen it. She likes horror movies. The Scream movies. What was the reporter's name? It was Gail something. Gail Weathers. Was that it? I don't know why that made me think of that. Anyway, Miss Barbara says she is familiar with Stacy's case. Chris says he's an only child. Yep, Stacy's case. Oh, there it is. And it says her youngest is being raised as an only child. All my other children are in their 20s. Miss Barb wants to know, asking Chris, do you like being the only child? I don't know if I could have been an only child. I'm the oldest, so technically I could have been an only child. But no, Mom had to go and give me 2 brothers. No, I'm kidding. I would not give anything for either one of my brothers. Okay, Arctic says, always with the good information, the Red Lake Indian Reservation covers 1,260.3 square miles in parts of 9 counties in Minnesota. Gotcha. As Gail says, some people have told her they wish they were her only child. Yes, she's a very beautiful young lady, 17 years old. Okay, Dandy says, Silent No More is the name of the documentary. Thank you. Miss Barb says, Stacy is beautiful and looks happy. Absolutely. And then Miss Barb gets to sleep in tomorrow. Good. So that is why she's here so late. Yeah, it's 10, almost 11 o'clock our time. Yeah, Gail, that's what I thought. Thank you, Paula. Yeah, Gail Weathers. Our Gail Hurd says Gail Storm played My Little Margie. I have not seen that. All right, guys, I think that was our last one. Yes. All right, so I put this up here. Just anybody, anywhere, if you have any tips regarding any MMIP missing, murdered, do submit it. I mean, tell somebody. You can call the text the BIA MMU 847-411. Call in tips 833 5. I'm trying to read the small slide. 1-833-560-2065 or email ojs_MMU@bia.gov. Yes. If you know something, say something. If you saw something, say something. We've got to do our part in helping to get these cases out there. Absolutely. Yep, Miss Paula is an hour ahead. Yes, ma'am, you are. You're on Eastern time. See, I know Eastern time. I don't know anything west of Central time. I can't keep up. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here for now. because I do have to get to bed because I do have to work tomorrow. Oh yeah. Artie says he can't sleep in. His mom gets up before the chickens. Sounds like Junior. I think Junior's like that. He gets up with the chickens and goes to bed with the chickens, or at the same time as the chickens, not with the chickens. Anyway, it's definitely time to go. I'm getting really loopy. So we'll be back Monday with Missing Person Monday, and we are doing, I've already forgot. So we did Oregon. I think we're doing Utah Monday. I think we got Utah, Washington, and Wyoming to go, and then we'll be done. We've covered all 50 states. So after that, we may start over. Have to start over again. Anyway, so we'll be doing that our usual time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time Monday night. Thank you everybody that was here in chat. I love you guys. Thank you to all the lurkers. I love you guys. Thank you to replay crew. We love you guys. And once again, since I still have not had time to make a new outro, you're all probably getting tired of the kitty outro, but hey, you know, sometimes you need a little something upbeat after these horrible things that we talk about. But anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you guys Monday night. Have a good rest of your week. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Be kind to one another. Take care of each other. We are all that we have. See you guys.